this morning, you think, Gershom?
No, just to make the most use of time. I think we can just sign in by using the chat feature.
Good deal. I think we're at 17 people. It is now 10:01, approaching 10:02, 18 people. So we got more and more coming in. We'll give it another minute. All right, for those of you that may be new, my name is Greg Snow. I'm the Vice Chair of the Youth Action Board. We want to welcome you again today. I'm going to jump right into item number 2, our public comments. I'm not sure if any were received electronically. Would Clarice have any record of that?
I have not received any.
Okay. Anybody here and with us today have any public comments? With that, we're going to move into item number 3 on the agenda, our old business. We've got a update from Mar on our youth homeless demonstration program.
Thank you, Greg.
You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. For YHDP, my primary update is that we have, we're in the middle of the RFP for our PSH project, and we've begun the evaluation process. So we've identified 3 YAB members and 2 non-youth members to do the reviews for the PSH project. We do anticipate having the results of that be in by the 6th. They've gone through the threshold reviews and all other parts, so we hope to have a final result in the coming weeks. So definitely keep an eye out for that. The other main update is that we are in the process of renewals. I'm not sure if everyone has heard in the COC meeting spaces, but we are in a very unprecedented time with the HUD NOFO. And since YHDP has finished or is coming to close on its first grant term, it'll now be part of HUD COC. So we're moving forward, not going to be a demonstration program anymore. It'll just be youth homelessness programs under HUD COC. And so the process is very different. In the past, YHDP demonstration projects were auto-renewed after their first year, but with the changes made in this NOFO, we are now competing against all other projects. However, we are strategizing internally to make sure that we still keep all of our youth projects in some shape or form. They're just seeing some changes to make sure that we remain competitive and meet HUD guidance. So definitely a lot of changes to come. That NOFO is, or that RFP is out. New bidders are welcome if they want to apply for a new transitional housing or a new supportive services only project. You can do that. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. And I know that we also uploaded the pre-bidders meeting from yesterday to our OHS website and YouTube. So if you want to see the recording to learn more about the RFP, please check out our website and we'll make sure we drop it in the chat. I know we have a bunch of RFPs out right now for that NOFO, for the HUD COC and YHDP renewal projects. That's COARC 00441. And then for the PSH one, the bids have closed, but that one is COARC 0035. And that's everything for YHDP. I think the last thing I'll share is that just we invite you to stay through the end of the meeting since we'll be talking about new youth funding opportunities, and it's actually very much connected to YHDP. And with that, I'll pass it back to Greg unless there are any questions.
Yeah, Mara, I had a question. You alluded to we're falling under the blanket of the COC Direct, the YHDP as we've known it, and as it's going to continue on, it's just going to be a little bit more competitive going after this funding since some things have been pulled back, I guess.
Hey Stephanie, how you doing?
Yes, that's correct.
I'm
So,
good. I was just making sure
in
that
the
you had
past,
questions to you.
sorry, in the past, YHDP projects were auto-renewed,
No, I sent it
but
yesterday.
now it
If
has
you
been a
look at
little
the
bit
pay
more
stub for that,
competitive.
There's a
Um,
corporation name at the
I'm
bottom,
so sorry.
way at the bottom.
Greg, I'm so sorry. I'm just muting the background. You might have to unmute though. I think I hear you.
Yeah, I'm muted. I'm sorry.
So it's
No,
available
you're good.
now. Just, you know, if you go to a fast food company or
No, as I was
something,
understanding it, we're just getting put into a much larger
okay, so
swimming
what you're
pool, I
gonna do
guess.
is you're gonna put,
Yes, for this
corporation
NOFO, it's all HUD, COC, and YHDP in one. And it's actually, there's another layer of competitiveness where in the past HUD COC projects, tier 1 was 90% of the budget. And now they've minimized it to 60%. So not only are we up against other projects, but the threshold for what's pretty much guaranteed it has been minimized. So we essentially, our local strategy is to prioritize new projects because under HUD's NOFO renewal projects, if they stay as is, they're not high up on their priority list. So we're trying to make shifts where we can to essentially remodel our projects without changing how it comes to the youth. The youth, we're trying to make sure that the impact on the youth is minimized, but that HUD will still see them as new projects. So that's our goal, but of course it all depends on the types of applications we receive in the RFP.
Thank you, Mara.
No problem.
Did anybody else
Any
have any other
questions?
questions or comments? Good deal. With that, I'm going to
Thank
move
you.
forward on to item number 4, our consent items, which is the approval of our meeting minute notes from May 28th, 2026. I was not present. I'm still recovering from surgery that I had done that day. So I want to invite anybody who was present at that to put a motion forward to approve those.
I'll make a motion to approve them as submitted.
Thank you, Nikki. And if I could get a second from anybody that was as well present. And if we don't have that, we can come back around later in this agenda. We have a lot of business to talk about here in our new business and our standing items. So I'm just going to go ahead and move forward on that. And again, we can revisit the second for the meeting minutes notes. I'd like to introduce Joelle Moore with our Spark group. She is here to present on what's happening with our Juvenile Justice Unit, the Public Defender's Office of the Juvenile Justice Unit. Welcome, Joelle.
Thank you, Greg. Can everybody hear me okay?
It's a little quiet.
Oh, let me see if I can turn my volume up just a little bit. I've been having trouble with my camera, of course. Okay, how is that? Can you hear me? Yes, I'm getting
Yes.
some nods. Okay, I'll try to, well, I speak loud by nature, so that shouldn't be a problem. But thank you for the introduction and thank you for the opportunity today to present on Spark and what we're up to here at the Public Defender's Office in our juvenile unit. As Greg mentioned, I am Joelle Moore. I'm the Supervising Deputy Public Defender for our Riverside County Offices of the Public Defender Juvenile Unit. And I also oversee our county-wide Spark program. Now, Spark is a Juvenile Justice Coordinating Council funded and Juvenile Justice Delinquency Prevention Commission funded grant initiative through our county. We do offer completely free services and we were just renewed for our 5th year. We're continuing to go strong. We are growing, working to strengthen our impact, increasing our partnerships. In our last reporting fiscal year, we did provide direct services to 726 youth. We completed over 1,100 service referrals, and just a few stats that I'm very proud of. With the kids who we provided direct advocacy for school discipline related matters, we had better outcomes in over 90% of those cases. So in 90% of those cases, what was offered originally at the outset of the discipline proceedings got better through our advocacy efforts. And the same can be reported with our special education advocacy. We reported better outcomes or increased or improved or new services in over 90% of the cases that we were working hands-on with the families and the school districts on. So we continue to grow our ability to collect outcomes and measure the impact that we're having, with the hope that we can continue to grow with our teams as well. So before we get into the full depths of the services that we provide, just some quick hits on our mission. It is to prevent full entry or prolonged entry into the juvenile justice system. We want to establish as early in the process a collaborative, integrative, holistic approach to working with our clients and their families. We want to reduce recidivism and promote as many favorable outcomes as we can. So we're not just looking at what they're coming into court for that underlying charge or allegation. We're going beyond that. We're digging into what's going on at school with the family, behavioral health, unmet needs, unidentified special education needs, things like that, and really doing that deep dive to try to get them supported within their community, get them out of the system as quickly as possible. For our transition age youth who may or may not even have a juvenile justice related or criminal related case, our goal is to remove barriers for them. So we want to help provide consultations for legal issues where needed, whether it's housing, eviction, eligibility for regional center services, even just access to benefits or entitlements through because they were a former foster youth, or maybe they need to re-enter the foster care system. We can assist with that as well. And we also want to provide the stable connections to education and behavioral health services within the community through our outreach. So such as what we're doing here today in this meeting, really out there in the trenches connecting to youth, families, community partners, agencies, and doing what we can to streamline connections when those clients come within our services. Next slide, please. So who Spark helps? Like I said, we work obviously with our public defender clients, so youth who are charged with an offense and need assistance with education, mental health, behavioral health needs, or just connections to community resources, whether it's mentorship programs, pro-social activities, or perhaps the court-related conditions that are ordered as a condition of their probation. But they do not have to be public defender clients or have a juvenile justice or criminal case in order to work with Spark. We can serve any transition age youth in Riverside County, age 16 to 25. And as I mentioned previously, our goal with our TAE is to help remove barriers and keep them moving forward and transitioning successfully into adulthood. Next slide, please. So how do we do this? We are a countywide program. We have a team in each of the 3 regions. So our teams consist of an education resource attorney, as well as a social service practitioner. So we have our Riverside team, our Southwest team, and our Coachella Valley team. We also have a countywide supervisor, me, as well as a countywide paralegal that puts on every hat that we need her to put on within our program to make sure that we are meeting the needs of all of our clients. So we are a small team, but we are a mighty team. We are a mobile team. So we go where we meet the kids where they are at, both literally and figuratively. We span the whole breadth of the county, from Blythe to the depths of Thermal to San Bernardino County borders, San Diego County borders, and even beyond. When we have youth who may be placed outside of county, we do travel to where they are at. So we are very mobile, and we've found that is a key to overcoming one of those main barriers to getting services to our clients, is just being able to get out to them and help make those connections. Next slide, please. And we are also located within the Behavioral Health Transition Age Youth Center. So Stepping Stones, the Arena, Desert Flow out in the desert. We have offices within each of those centers, really with the goal to just be out in the community, to not be limited to the juvenile justice facilities, courthouses, things like that. We want to be out there. We want to be accessible. And really our vision for this from the outset was to create like a one-stop shop. You know, when kids are coming into the TASE centers for behavioral health services or programming or meeting with their peer support specialists, and they find out, oh, they just got a citation, they don't know what to do, they don't know what to expect, or oh, they have a warrant, what do they do? We want to be there, walk them next door to us so that we can provide that consultation on the spot and help to remove those barriers right then and there. Next slide, please. So the extent of the services that we provide, as I said, we have our resource attorneys and we have our social service practitioners. So we're providing both the legal services and more of the resource connection side of things as well. Our legal services include special education support and advocacy. That is one of our huge areas of focus. And, you know, we find that most, if not all, of our juvenile justice clients have special education related needs, whether they've been identified or not. And getting to the heart of those and identifying the services that they need to be successful in school is a key piece of getting them on the road to, you know, successful transitions. We also do school discipline support and advocacy, school placement assistance, as well as finding alternative pathways to graduation, or maybe it's not a high school diploma for everybody. Maybe it's a GED, or maybe it's a vocational programming mentorship type of program. We provide connections to behavioral health services, Inland Regional Center eligibility and or access to additional services that they may or may not be eligible for, foster care reentry, calendar add-ons for warrant recalls, sealings, expungements for prior criminal or juvenile records, as well as legal consultations for things such as immigration, conservatorships, eviction, restraining orders, things like that. If we are not able to provide the direct advocacy, then we're going to refer them to one of our partners in the community who can. So we do work closely with ICLS, with TODEC, and other providers, especially in the realm of special education. So if for some reason we cannot, you know, go into that meeting or that hearing to represent them, we're going to make sure that we connect them to somebody who can. And we also provide training for community members, agency partners, and CBOs. So we do a lot of trainings out in the community on a whole range of topics, but I know special education is usually a real hot topic that people want to learn more about, how they can help walk families through that process. Next slide, please. And our social workers, while they're working right alongside the resource attorneys in a lot of those areas we already talked about, they're also assisting with the foster care reentry, transition planning, housing resources. Housing, as we all know, is a big need, a big barrier. So our social workers are working with a lot of you and our community partners to help get, you know, vouchers, help to find temporary and or long-term stable housing arrangements for our youth and their families. We also help with employment and vocational training resources, referrals to court-ordered requirements, so the anger management, the victim awareness, the things that the probation is including as part of their terms and conditions of probation, and then connections to community-based organizations such as Credible Messengers, pro-social activities, you know, boxing, basketball clubs, art, music, whatever we can do to help engage them and help them, you know, find a way to be productive and busy and moving forward positively. And then we also work very closely with our school districts throughout the region, our agency partners, probation, behavioral health, child support services, you name it, and then CBOs countywide. Next slide, please. So the referral process for Spark. The easiest way to get a hold of us is to send us an email to spark@rivco.org. that is seen by all of us. And then we can help funnel it, to the exact team member or place that it needs to go. We do have a referral form, a community request for assistance. In a perfect world, we get this and it's all filled out, and that's amazing. But we all know that, our lives and our family youth that we serve, it doesn't always work that way. So, as much information as we can get as possible. If we get the form, great. If not, if we get that email that just has youth's name, youth's contact information, and then that way we can reach out and initiate our intake process. If you do have the ability to get this form filled out, then if you could provide, updated contact information, as much of it as possible, including youth's caregiver, guardian, parent information, the reason for the referral, so we know if this is something that needs to land directly with our resource attorney or with one of our social service practitioners, and the urgency of the matter as well. If this is an emergent, crisis housing situation, just make sure that that's in there so that we jump on it immediately. And as I hope those of you who have worked with us know, we are very, very responsive. Usually you're going to hear back with us same day, if not within a couple hours. But at the very least, you're going to hear back within a day or so from us. And if it's urgent, we'll get on it even more quickly. We are, readily accessible, and we are available, and we are mobile. Some helpful tips with the referrals. I think I've already mentioned this. So just make sure if it's time sensitive, let us know. Send it straight to that email address, and then we'll initiate contact as soon as possible. We also have our drop-in hours at the TAY Center as well. So you're welcome to send clients to us or bring them by to us in person. You can also pick up the phone and call any one of us. You can call our direct lines. You can call our public defender's offices. You can call the TAY centers that we're out of. And any one of those numbers is going to lead you to us. Keep in mind, participation is voluntary. Your kiddo may or may not be fully sold on wanting to participate. You can send them to us anyway. Let us, talk with them and talk about our program and hopefully get some buy-in from them that way. But keep in mind, it is voluntary. So this isn't a probation ordered program. It's not being forced upon them. And one of the really unique aspects of Spark, and as advocates from the public defender side of things, is that we represent the expressed interests of the client. We do not represent mom or, caregiver or education rights holder. We represent the youth and the youth's expressed interests. So, 9 times out of 10, everybody's going to be on the same page. We're all working together for shared outcomes. But at the end of the discussions, if the youth is saying, hey, this is what I want to do, as their public defender advocates, we have to represent that expressed interest. So that's where youth voice is a really big part of what we do. And we're also not mandated reporters from the public defender's office side of things. So that creates kind of a unique type of relationship with the client. Sometimes they're willing to open up to us a little bit more so we can help align them with what's going to best suit their needs in some of those emergency situations. So those are just a couple little unique pieces about our program. And we know that the partners that we're working with out in the community are mandated reporters, and our clients know that as well. So we've got a lot of safeguards in place on both sides of things to make sure that we're all seeing to it that our youth are being served in the best way possible, and that their rehabilitative needs are being met. Next slide, please. And that is it. I think I was given 10 minutes. I forgot to look at what time it was when I started, but a whole lot of information, but really just an overview. So if you have any questions, if we don't know you and you want to, learn more about Spark and or partner with us on a more intimate level, please reach out, spark@rivco.org, so that we can continue the conversation. And a really important couple shout outs. I see a couple of our team members here right now. Janae Valenzuela, she is our education resource attorney out of the Southwest region. And Valerie Padilla, I'm super excited to introduce her to everybody. She is our new social service practitioner for our Southwest region. Today's actually her first day with the unit, not with the office. She's very seasoned, very experienced, and we're beyond excited to have her on board. So I'm sure you'll all be getting to know her more over the coming days, and we all always look forward to working with you all. So, and any questions, if there's time, I'm happy to answer some questions now.
Yes, my name is Adrian here from Operation Grace. I did believe I heard you mention that you guys do service the San Bernardino area, like San Bernardino, Colton, Fontana, Rialto.
So just to clarify, the youth have to reside or in some way be connected to Riverside County in order for it
Mm,
to qualify under our grant parameters. We do have youth who are Riverside County residents or, maybe on probation or dependents through Riverside County who might be placed outside of a county, and we're able to provide services to them. Usually it's coordinating with other providers in those counties. But we can also go out to them, visit them, make sure things are going well in their placements and assist that way as well. But we don't just provide the direct services to youth who reside outside of county.
thank you. Thank you for
Thank you.
answering.
Thank you for that question.
Hi, my name is Ashley from True Revolution. If we go to spark at rivcode.org, we will be able to get the phone number and address for to give to people.
Spark@rivco.org is our email address. So that is what you would use to, send us information. But I do have flyers. I also have some pamphlets. I will figure out, I'll get tech savvy here real fast and try to upload those into the chat for you. But you can also email us and I can send them to you that way as well. And then I think everybody will be getting the slideshow as well. And if you go back a few slides, all of our contact information is on there as well, or some of it is on there. Let's see. So we've got our, you know what? Our numbers aren't here, but they're on, just the TAY numbers are. But I'll put all that information in the chat for you, and I'll try to upload those flyers right now.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Joelle. Were there any other questions for me? We do appreciate it. We do definitely appreciate the work that you guys do at the Public Defender's Office. I know I worked with Teresa for a number of years and she moved on. And so I look forward to meeting Valerie, help come up with solutions for quite a few of our young people that do get represented through Spark. So with that, we're going to move on to our next presentation from Job Corps. We have Ms. Williams, the Business and Community Liaison for our local Job Corps. And the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. As you said, my name is Shakaya Williams. I am the Business and Community Liaison for the Inland Empire Job Corps. We are located in San Bernardino, about 7 minutes from Cal State San Bernardino. So I'm just going to give you some overview information of our general services. And then if you guys have any questions, I'll answer at the end of the presentation. Next slide. So our overall program is meant to service or provide training for students, transitional age youth between the ages of 16 to 24. As long as they enroll in the program before their 25th birthday, they can still get the training that they need, whether it be a vocational training or they are interested in getting their high school diploma or GED. While they're in the program, they have the opportunity to be either a residential student, which they live on campus, and we provide all of their essentials, 3 meals a day. They have a dorm that they would be assigned to, and they would share with about 4 other students usually. But it's just like a training, or it is a training program where they are taught independent living skills as well as work skills or employability skills, where they need to be on time to their classes. They're on a schedule usually in the dorms where they'd have to rotate cleaning assignments, participate in groups. and personal development workshops that we have here on center, or sometimes have them included in outside in the community. We also provide, or we have a recreation department for leisure leisure skills or in leisure activities that they can partake in after the training day. Our training day is from 8 to 4, Monday through Friday, and they get out early on Thursdays around 3:15. But from 8 to 4, they're either in their high school or TABE classes, which is test for adult base or test of adult basic education, for reading and math. So we can make sure, even though sometimes they come in with their high school diplomas, they still need to work on building their skills for reading or math. So we want to make sure their comprehension levels are at an adequate level that is good enough for the workforce once we transition them into it. And then we also have instructors from the unions. We have 11 trades that we service or we train students in here on center. And 5 of them are hard trades where we have union certified representatives who have hands-on experience in the field that, you know, work with the students, train them and introduce them into the industry that they'll be working in. But overall, we do train our students to have employability skills by the time they finish their training here, so that they're ready for the workforce once they graduate our program. Next slide. So as far as our eligibility requirements, as I mentioned, we service youth between the ages of 16 through 24. In order to qualify for our program, pretty much any WIO clientele will qualify for our program. As long as they're low income or come from a low income family, or they may not have any income as an adult, they may qualify to be enrolled in our program. If they're receiving the public assistance or if they're from a foster background, we also service those students, or I keep saying students, we also service those youth as well. Our applicants, we can enroll up to 340 students on our center. 70 of slots are reserved for non-res students, which are students who live within 25 miles of our center, our location, just to ensure that they can get to and from the center or training on a daily basis without any issues. But if any students or youth live outside of that radius, we recommend that they be resident while they are enrolled in our program. In the program, they're allotted to up to 2 years of enrollment to finish their high school diploma and their trade. But if they only come in for their trade, then they still have the 2 years, but it typically doesn't take them that long to finish. But the eligibility requirements is usually if they are receiving some kind of public assistance, they can get into the program as long as we do background checks. But as long as there isn't any violent offenses or sexual assaults or anything like that on their record, usually we can work with some minor offenses on their background checks. It just depends on what it is. But in their application process, a background check is run once they apply. But as long as they have no court fees exceeding $500, we usually try to give them resources if they do have anything like that they're dealing with before they enroll. And then because our training program, their enrollment is because our training program requires them to train between Monday and Friday from 8 to 4, the student must be committed to making sure that they are coming here strictly to train and further their career or further their education, because we do have certain policies in place that, you know, if they aren't comfortable or aren't adjusting to the training program while they're here, it may risk their program depending on whether or not the behaviors can be corrected. So as long as they're committed and dedicated to coming to a program to get what they came for, which is usually a high school diploma, their trade certifications or driver's license, things like that, any certifications that we offer, they should be fine. Next slide. And then as mentioned, some of those policies, this isn't all of our policies, but This is the general overview of some of the things that we require from the students. As I mentioned, they do have to train Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to about 4 o'clock. But anything after or anything the weekends, they usually can take a weekend pass. They can request a weekend pass during the week to where they can go back home if they want to. If they don't want to go back home over the weekends, they can stay on campus. It just depends on them. But Monday through Friday, they are required to stay on campus outside of like the recreation trips that they take with our staff. And then we do have zero tolerance policy. So the students must refrain from substance use while they're enrolled in the program. Initially, when they do come in, we aren't penalizing them or requiring them to test free when they first come in, but they do have 45 days from the date that they enroll or they start with us to clean or at least decrease the amount of whatever they tested positive for, may have tested positive for when they came into the program. So they do have opportunity to enroll, even though they might have some substances in their system, as long as it's showing that they are clearing the system once they enroll. And then while they are on campus, we do have policies, disciplinary policies that are in place to make sure that they aren't bringing any weapons on center, making sure that they are conducting themselves professionally, not bullying, not harassing. Typically, everything that's in a regular work environment are the same standards that we hold them to while they're here. That it's not automatic termination for some things, like for example, the bullying or any cases of harassment or things like that. There is a progressive disciplinary process to help them adjust to center life. But of course, there are some zero tolerance instances as far as like bringing drugs on centers or bringing any kind of weapons on center that we do enforce. And then as far as residential students, as I mentioned, students living outside of the 25-mile radius are expected to live on campus because we don't want to put any hardships on them as far as getting to and from work. But we do help the students or the ones who live within a 25-mile radius of the center. We do give them a stipend to get to and from campus, whether it be a bus pass, whether it be gas, whether it be our transportation department picking them up from local spots. It just depends on what they choose, but we do help subsidize with them getting to and from the program as long as they live within that 25-mile radius. That's all. And then these are some of the benefits that we have for our students who live on campus. We have 3 male dorms and 4 female dormitories. And then, as I mentioned, the non-res program for at least 70 students that would like to be on non-res status. We do have a health and wellness clinic on center. That is typically for any, of course, emergencies, if anybody starts to feel sick and things like that. We have a registered nurse, LVN, as well as the doctor and medical staff who are here on center. We pretty much help support the insurance or the services that they already have in place. And if they don't have them in place, we can help them get their insurance set up just to make sure that they are covered while they're here in the program and they can get their medical needs met, whether it's temporarily here on center or whether it's with an outside provider. And then we also have 2 clinical therapists that are available to them as well to assist them while they're involved. We also serve 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And the students can, of course, order what they would like from Uber and things like that. But we have a full cafeteria where the staff services and provides nutrition meals from there every day. Hands-on training, as I mentioned, for all of our trades, we have 11 trades. We have our carpentry, landscaping, tile setting, painting, electrical, plumbing, CNA, CMA, MAA, office administrative, and I feel like I'm missing one. Office administrative, and I think I mentioned landscaping already, but we have about 11 trades of 11 trades that we certify students in, and they're all trades that they receive certifications in. nationally recognized certifications, so OSHA certifications, NHA certifications, food handlers cards, everything that they can use in the industry that they plan on going in. We try to get them the certifications that they need to be prepared for the workforce upon graduating with us. And our hard trades do provide materials for their students who graduate as far as getting them the tools that they need to work on site with the jobs that they need. And we provide uniforms and all of the safety gear for the students while they're enrolled in the program. And then as well as them getting a job, we provide them with a stipend so that they can get the uniforms and apparel that they need for work. And then networking opportunities. So plenty of our staff in our departments in different areas, we always try to stay connected to the community, doing presentations or introducing them to different industry leaders so that they have the opportunities to network, not just for themselves, but also keep the community aware of what's happening from a student's perspective. So we provide networking opportunities with them. Some of their instructors take them out to union meetings or industry meetings and events that help them get their feet wet and kind of get involved into the industry that they plan to be in. So we try to keep them connected as much as possible. And as I mentioned before, we have a recreation department where we have developmental activities, and then they take them off center to amusement parks, movies, different things. It just depends on what they like. The recreation supervisor is usually really good at gauging what the students' interests are and getting feedback from them to get them, keep them engaged with after school activities and also giving them a personal life as well as the professional one that they have during the day with us. And then we also assist them with getting their learner's permit and driver's license while they are enrolled in our program as well. Next slide. And typically they can just go online. Any students who are interested can go online and apply to a Job Corps program. We are a nationwide program. So we have several different centers across the nation, over around 120. It just depends on whether the student, the trade that the student is interested in. It just depends on whether the trade that the student is interested in is available in their city or if it's available maybe in another state. And if the student would be willing to transfer or go to that state for that training. But they have all the information on our websites to where they can explore the different training opportunities that we do have, as well as, meeting with an outreach or admissions specialist to set up an appointment and help them get through their application. But generally, they start online, submit a general application, and then we'd have one of our admissions team members reach out to them to help them get through the process. And that'll be all. These are the pathways that we have that we help introduce them into. Of course, job placement, because we have several different trades here. Once they finish, we have a career transitions department who assists them with getting jobs after they finish their training. Not just jobs, but they also assist them with enlisting in the military if they're interested. Enrolling in college, we actually have a partnership with San Bernardino Valley College to where the student can get their AA while they're still enrolled or live here on our campus, so that it can kind of alleviate some of the hardships that they might deal with if they're interested in college. And we also have an advanced training pathway. That's pretty much if the student, let's say we have a pre-apprentice plumbing program here. If a student is interested in going into HVAC, we have a Job Corps Center that provides that training. So if they're interested in going into an HVAC training to further their education, they would apply through our basic training program here. And if they are approved, we would fly them to the center that trains them in HVAC. They would do their training there, and then they would be flown back home. And they would continue with career transition services once they get back. But we try to provide full wraparound services for our youth. so that we can make sure that they have everything that they need. And then the career transition department that we have, the specialists follow the students a year after they graduate so that they can make sure that they are stable in their job, make sure that they're not running into any issues with resources, and just make sure that they are stable once they graduate our program. And that'll be all. If you guys have any questions, I know that I've been out in the community a few times and there were some questions about whether we were open. We are open and we are accepting students on a weekly basis. So I want to make sure we get the word out. We service all of Inland Empire, San Bernardino County, and Riverside, and as well as Kern County. So we try to reach a wide variety of youth.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Williams. I know we just reached out and talked with conversation with Melissa yesterday, so
Yeah.
you guys are very open for those questions at the centers, even though our solution came out of Texas, but San Bernardino was right there to help us out with it. So thank you for that.
No problem.
Any questions from them? Again, thank
Yes, I
you.
got a question. Thank you for your presentation. I think it was something powerful. My question is, say if I have, because I work with youth all the time, say if I have, a few youth that's interested, is there a way that we can be even able to set up like a tour of the facility and kind of like look around, get toured a little bit?
Yes, so thank you for bringing that up because I didn't mention it. We have tours every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. It's open to the public, so you can come at any Tuesday if you can't get everybody together at one time. We always have tours on Tuesday at 1 o'clock, but we also do special tours if there's an organization or a school that would like for their seniors or juniors to know about the program. We can set up special tours with the staff and their students so that we can tour them around the whole facility, let them see the trades, let them see the dorms, and answer any questions that they do have, so that we can make sure that they have all the information that they need for enrollment.
That's awesome. And then my last question is, I'm sure you probably already mentioned this. I may have not have caught it, but do you guys offer some type of like counseling or case management as a student is going through their journey
Yes.
of Job Corps? You guys
Yes.
do, okay.
So as a component, we have a variety of different departments that service our students while they're here, but we do have a counseling department. They are assigned a counselor once they arrive to center, and that counselor meets with them at a minimum of once a month, just to track their program, see if there's any issues or anything that they might need assistance with. Just at a minimum, but if the student happens to need some additional resources, everybody's case is a little bit different. So if there's some other resources that need to be identified or that they might be struggling with in the program, the counselor talks to all of the staff that are working with the students, so the teachers, the RAs, the cafeteria, just to see how the student is moving through the program and apply resources that are needed for the student, just depending on what it is.
Awesome, thank you.
No problem. Is it Caroline?
Yes, hi, thank you. Thank you for your presentation. I do have a quick question. If somebody is interested in exploring Job Corps as an option, is the best way to do that to go online and fill out that interest form, or would it be to actually go down to the office and meet with, I don't know if you call them recruiters or not, but.
Well, if they're local, I would advise that they come to center because they get to see and have a conversation with everybody to answer the questions versus just seeing the virtual tour, which is really just the layout of the program. But they actually get to see what the culture is like once they get here. So if they're local, then I would advise that they come to center, but they can fill the interest list out or the interest form out regardless. Somebody can reach out to them, they can talk to them over the phone and answer any questions if they can't make it in. But if they're local, I would suggest that they come to campus.
And then also one more question from rough estimate from start to finish, from applying to the program to actually like getting moved in? How long is that process?
You mean to enroll?
Yes, to like enroll, and then let's say they were doing residential.
Okay, so that it could be as quick as a month, but it could stretch out as long as 3 months. It just depends on the individual because there's a screening process that each of our departments have to do once the applicant enrolls, which they have to go through the background check. They have to go through our health and wellness department. They have to go through our admissions team. So their application has to go through a step-by-step process, which if they upload all the documents that's necessary initially, then it'll streamline the process to be about a month, I would say. But if the admissions counselor is having a hard time contacting the student because they need some additional documents uploaded, or some students or some information wasn't clear and they need clarification, but they can't reach the student, that would delay their enrollment process. But as long as all of the paperwork and they are able to contact the students, as long as all of that is seamless, they can get in about a month, I would say, from initially applying.
Okay, and you take applications all year round. It's not just like specific enrollment timeframes?
So we have open enrollment. We are currently accepting weekly or new students weekly. So it's really not a time frame or cohort or groups or anything like that. As long as they can get their application done, and once they get through being approved for the application or their enrollment process, their admissions counselor will offer them a date to enroll.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
No problem. Was there any other questions? Thank you, Clarice, for putting the website in the chat.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Well, good deal. Thank you so much again. It's
Thank
been
you.
very valuable. It's quite a solution for what we do at the youth centers all across Riverside County. Yeah, Nikki's got her hand up.
Yeah, I had a question on the minor side, youth that are minors. What does that process look like, getting parental consent, things like that? What are the requirements there for youth under 18?
So for the youth that's under 18, we go off of the parents or the guardian's income for their application process. And all the consents that we need in regards to, whether or not they can go off campus, what, medications and health requirements and things like that. All those consents are in the application process. So they would be filling those forms out. The parent or the guardian will be filling those forms out at the enrollment process. So those are some of the forms that I mean, like if everything is seamless with getting in contact with the parent, in this case for a minor, then that would streamline the enrollment process, as long as all of those forms and that documentation is submitted, basically from on the admissions end.
Okay, again, thank you. Anybody else? All right. Good news, that's for sure. Okay, moving along, new business. We have our coordinated entry system updates from Lucy. Lucy, are you with us today?
I am. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I'm just going to go over some numbers for the month of May for CES referrals for TAY. Next slide. So we had about 74 youth on the community queue for the month of May. We connected about 21 members to opportunities and are currently awaiting outcomes. 17 of those connections were made to rapid rehousing and 4 to permanent supportive housing. So we are looking forward to hopefully sending out more for the month of June, and we will get you those numbers at our next meeting. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Lucy. We appreciate that. All right, we're moving into our standing items and our YHSI funding opportunities from Maren Gershom. It's going to be quite a ride right now, so everybody hang on to your seats, and we'll see what they got to share.
Thank you, Greg. I'll go ahead and start us off. I know there's a couple new folks in the space, so just to reintroduce myself, Mario Sarmiento, I am the program specialist over the Youth Homelessness Demonstration Program. It's federal funding for 18 to 24-year-olds experiencing homelessness, but it also provides services, supportive services for anyone 24 and under. So that's just a brief overview. I'll pass it off to Gershom to introduce himself.
Thank you, Mar, and good morning, everyone. My name is Gershom Hiran, program specialist with the Riverside County Office of Homeless Services.
Thank you. Next slide, please, Clarice. Thank you. So we're going to do a quick overview of our current youth system of care that's currently funded under YHDP, and then an exciting new opportunity for youth funding. We'll go over the application timeline, the questions, and space for community feedback. And then with next steps, I'll pass it off to Gershom to kind of go over the plan for this. And it'll all make sense as we go on. So for the sake of time, let's move on to the next slide. So this is how these are the trends and patterns that we're seeing in our current youth system of care. A lot of this is what we've heard from you all, our community partners, but essentially recap of our youth system of care that's funded under YHDP. We fund navigation centers. They serve as our access point for youth to come in and get entered into our homeless management information system. From there, they get supportive services while they wait for placement at one of our 5 housing projects. So these projects and navigation centers are already set, but we are up for renewal. And so we're opening it up again for community members who serve youth to apply for. And more information, I can drop the link to that after on how to apply. But focusing on what we're seeing now, so YHDP's youth system of care has been fully operational for almost a year now, but we've been operating for almost 2 years. The first one, and I'll start from left to right, is an increase in foster youth. So I know we've got a lot of our foster youth partners that are in the room, and because of the situation that they're seeing with vouchers and limitations on that, we are seeing an increase of foster youth after 21 coming into our system of care, since we serve 18 to 24-year-olds. And what we're seeing, the challenge is the disconnect between our existing systems. So we have our homeless management information system. It's not just for youth, it's for all populations, but the team here focuses on youth. And then we have our foster youth agencies. You all have your own processes with the Housing Authority and Department of Public Social Services. So there's so many players here, and the youth are being overprocessed. So that's the impact we're seeing on the ground, is they're going into the foster youth system and having to go through that intake. Once they're done, if there's no funding or if there's no housing for them after 21, they're coming into our system, doing our intake process, and then it's just a lot on them. So there's a lot of over-processing that we're seeing. And so the need is improvements in data collection and system connection, not necessarily combining all into one. That'd be in a perfect world, right? But we definitely need communication and formal partnerships between agencies to make sure our youth aren't being over-processed. And then next, we've kind of combined 3 different trends and patterns that we've been seeing, because they all fall under the same umbrella, which is the disconnect between youth serving agencies. As we know, our county is rich in so many different resources, which I think we're fortunate to have. And that includes our employment services, we have DV providers, and we have landlord programs. What we're seeing is that our youth need workforce opportunities. And thank you to the presenters for sharing on what they have, right? We have all these resources, and youth need that to be self-sustaining, right? Self-sufficient. And then DV providers, we have been seeing an increase, unfortunately, in youth in DV situations and need protections on that end. And then also landlord programs. A lot of our youth housing is transitional, it's not permanent. And so a connection to landlords willing to work with youth is needed, because our youth may not have the best credit or have the income history needed to be able to sign off on their own rent or on their own lease, right? So there is that disconnect. What we're seeing is that our youth housing agencies, they have their case managers who have to help a youth, let's say, get connection to workforce. They happen to be in a DV situation and need maybe mental health services for that. And then also once they get stabilized, find a unit that they can afford on their own. And so all of that is falling on our case managers to wear multiple hats and do everything in-house, when in reality, we have our wonderful partners in the community that already specialize in these different programs. So it's been a challenge for our case managers to wear the different hats and do everything for one youth out of the 20 plus they have on their caseloads, right? So what we're seeing on our youth is that the youth impact is that they're overwhelmed. They may have a case manager and a social worker trying to connect them to all these resources, but that warm handoff isn't happening between them and for example, like a career navigator, or someone who can connect them to a landlord willing to work with them. It's a lot as a young adult to have to go through that even without experiencing homelessness, right? So we're seeing that impact, and the need to address is establish partnerships between youth serving agencies countywide. And then also an idea that we've been thinking about within the team is having some sort of main liaison or outreach support that does the coordination piece, right? Because our case managers, our career navigators, DV providers, landlord teams, they're all busy doing their own specialized thing, as they should be. But we need someone that's connecting and following up to make sure our youth aren't feeling overwhelmed. Then lastly, we have standardizing our referral timing. So we have our awesome CES team who's been dealing with all of the referrals coming in. So our coordinated entry system, they don't just focus on youth. They focus on all populations, seniors, veterans, our general population, anyone experiencing homelessness that want to tap into our housing opportunities. They have to go through CES. And so what we're seeing is our CES team is very busy. They have a lot on their hands. And so there's definitely a challenge in having limited staff. And the youth impact is that they are over it. And by the way, I should give credit to Path of Life. Chris Oberg, she's the one who has kind of summed it up, that the impact on our youth is that they're overprocessed, overwhelmed, and over it. If they're having to call Home Connect, I'm sure everyone knows the experience with that, and having to wait and call back and follow up, it's a lot, and honestly, they're over it. So definitely need staff capacity for both our HMIS and CES systems. So to summarize, this seems like a very negative slide, but I feel like it's important to address these trends, because the only way to improve our current system is to identify what our challenges are and how it's impacting our youth on the ground. So with that, on the next slide, on the bright side is that we do have our eye on a solution, which is this youth homelessness and systems improvement funding opportunity. HUD has released a youth homelessness NOFO. So this includes the Youth Homelessness Demonstration Program, which we already have, and YHSI, this new one that we want to apply for. So we're not applying for more YHDP funding. We're just looking to renew our current award, and then on the side supplement with YHSI. So this funding was released on on June 10th. So just 15 days ago. And so we are interested in applying as a community, and we're here to share a little bit about this funding opportunity to to hopefully address the challenges that I just presented on. So this does have a tight deadline. It is due on August 15th. And so we're here to kind of community plan with you all and make sure that we're addressing all the needs in our application. So next slide, please.
Hey, Mar, sorry, just to clarify that the application is due August 10th.
Thank you. Oh, did I say August 15th?
Yeah.
I said August 15th. Sorry, I was looking at September 15th. That's the award date. Thank you for correcting that. Good catch. Next slide. So this is the available funding. As I mentioned, the NOFO that was released is both for YHSI and YHDP, but we're highlighting the YHSI funds. It's all in one pot. Essentially, there's about 49 million, if I can do math, available, but they are only awarding up to 1 million per grant. So hopefully we will be one of the 49 awards that they'll be announcing at the end of this year. Next slide, please. So this is what the funding can be used for, and we've highlighted the main points. So first eligible activity is improving the capacity and increasing collaboration with youth in the community. And this includes our Youth Action Board. So if you're not familiar, through YHDP, we do have a Youth Action Board. These are actual 18 to 24-year-olds with any lived experience, whether it be the foster system, experiencing homelessness, or they're just as impacted, any system impact. If they have experience in that, they are eligible to join our Youth Action Board. And their job is to inform our work really and speak to their lived experience. They are compensated for their time that they're able to work with us. And since YHDP, now that we're not in the planning phase, we're actually operating, they've supported in evaluating our project. So like I mentioned in my updates, we have 3 YAB members currently who are on our independent review panel to review the applications that applied for our PSH, or Permanent Supportive Housing Project. So YHSI could be used to support them and make sure that they have the skills to be able to inform the funding that we use for youth. And then also establishing partnerships. So like I mentioned, there is definitely a need to bring together our youth serving systems. You all are out there, you exist, you're doing the good work. And we just hope to use YHSI funding to make the connections between you all. And then we have connecting housing and homelessness services providers to education, job training, employment skills organization. So again, speaking to everything you all already provide. And then improving the centralized and coordinated assessment system, also known as CES. So we're hoping that this would look like having a CES staff member who focuses just on the youth population, so that, you know, we could kind of lift the burden on the CES team who already do all the populations. And then lastly, improving data collection and use between systems. We're still exploring what that could look like. And that's why we're having a space for you all to kind of join us in this conversation, but that's definitely something we can use this funding for. Next slide. So next steps, as we've mentioned, we are interested in applying for this funding, and we cannot do it without our community members. So if you are interested in joining the application committee, please complete. Thank you, Clarice, for dropping the application or the interest form in the chat. There is one question on how you want to participate, and then also for follow-up meetings, if you're interested, please answer all questions, and we'll be reaching out to you for our next meeting. And then also the YHSI Google Drive folder, we'll make sure we'll share that to everyone so that you can see what the application's looking like. And then the deadline for all input would be Friday, July 17th. And we'll make sure that we have our shared doc with all of our notes from today's meeting to you guys. And with that, I will pass it off to Gershom to actually go over the activity that we have planned for you all today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mar, for that, summarization. And So as Mar mentioned, so we have set up a few break rooms that we will, open up momentarily. And essentially what we want to do is, we would want, all of you to feel free to join, whichever break room, you would like to. We essentially have set them up into, or categorize them into three separate ones as it relates to the application questions. So I don't know, you can pull up the screen, Mar, of the doc that shows the breakout rooms. But essentially what we have is breakout room number one will focus on youth leadership. And so, if there are any youth action board members on the call, we, highly encourage you folks to attend or to join that breakout room. That room will be facilitated by Clarice. And, our taste serving partners, you guys are also more than welcome to join, whichever, break room you would like to, including break room number one. Breakout room number two will focus on community connections, and that will be facilitated by Mar. And then lastly, breakout room number three will focus on building safe communities, and I will be facilitating that breakout room. And essentially what we want to do is, we want to, focus on, like this isn't going to be like answering the grant questions. It's going to be more helping Riverside County together, us as a community, to design a better homeless youth response system. And so, we want all of your input. We want everyone, to participate and, to provide as much, feedback as you can in these breakout rooms. So we'll go ahead and jump right into it. And again, just to clarify, you guys are more than welcome to jump in and out in between, all of the breakout rooms that are available. And pretty much we will just be, asking you folks a few questions that you saw on your screen just moments ago. And, we're just hoping to get, the most, information out of, the experts, out of you, and, we'll go from there. And then if we do have enough time, we can definitely reconvene in the general, meeting room and just, kind of go over what, what was discussed. And then lastly, we also do want to, we want to ask, if everyone would be okay with, meeting biweekly, starting July 9th up until, the submission deadline of the application, just so that, we can gather as much information as we can and just to, show you guys, the final version of our application, before submitting to HUD. So we'll go from there. So I'll go ahead and open up the breakout rooms. And then again, feel free to join whichever one you'd like. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to raise your hand. If not, I will go ahead and open up the break rooms in about 40 minutes or so. Alrighty, thank you, everyone. And I think we're still waiting for the final breakout room, if I'm not mistaken.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, I wasn't able to, I didn't get into any of the rooms. I was waiting
No.
and no one responded.
Oh my gosh, we're so sorry about that. Sorry, were you in the meeting when I opened the break rooms?
I've been here the entire time. I didn't
Did,
see.
did you see the did like a join break room or breakout room like notification pop up on your screen or no?
No,
No. Yikes.
no.
Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah. So okay, no worries. We're definitely gonna have another meeting, and we'll make sure that you are in a breakout room. Um we can definitely like we'll be sharing all of these notes on our Google Drive after the meeting, for you to catch up on. So again, I do apologize for that. And hopefully you can rejoin us at our next meeting, and yeah, hopefully you're not left in the lobby. um
Also,
and-
too, if I may chime in, I didn't notice either, like
Mhm.
the notification.
Yeah.
But to Miss Andrea, if you look towards your settings, I don't know if you're on a laptop, but I know it, to my left, upper right, I mean, it says rooms. Rooms.
See, it doesn't say where
Mm.
I looked everywhere. I was
You know what?
blue
Okay.
and yeah.
You know what? My team just brought that up yesterday too, that not everybody may have the same like settings or features or whatever. Chucks, that's unfortunate. So sorry
Can I
about that.
add it? Is there a way I can add that?
I wouldn't know how to do that on Teams if I'm being honest. Yeah. Next time for our next meeting, I can just assign you to like a breakout room. It'll automatically like move you into that room.
Okay.
I will be right back. I'm gonna join the community connections breakout room and let them know that we're about to run out of time. So give me one quick second, guys.
Thank you.
Sorry, Andrea, about that. Are you able to share your email in the chat? That way I can send you the document so you can reply to the questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Alrighty. I quickly had to go in there and scold them because we only have 2 minutes left. So and we still have an outstanding item that we have to vote on. So
I'm
we
so
want to be
sorry.
respectful.
I'm
No,
fine.
no worries. No worries. I know you guys were having too much fun.
I don't think they know how to join. Hold on. Let me go back and tell them.
Hopefully nobody left the actual meeting.
We're back.
Perfect. Thank you, Clarice. I'm gonna give a few seconds for everyone else to join in. Looks like there's still some people. Okay, perfect. All I had to do was close the breakout room.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Alrighty. So I'll let Greg take over from here. Craig, if you're back in the meeting with us.
He might have accidentally left the meeting because he didn't have the leave room option.
Okay, got it. So Nikki, I don't know if you want to quickly take over from here. Hopefully we didn't lose Nikki as well.
I think Greg is back, and then Nikki, you're
I'm
muted.
muting. I'm sorry. I'm like going, trying to find my agenda. So just as I was trying to explain to everybody where that leave button was, I was muted. So thank you, everybody. I know we're going over, but we really, really value your input. So we did have a motion to accept the minutes from the last meeting. We are still holding off on a second for that motion. So is there anybody who's willing to second that motion to approve the minutes of the May meeting?
Caroline Quintos, I'll approve.
Ah, you're my savior, Caroline. I owe you chocolate covered cherries. So, okay. So if there's any dissent, please put your comment in the chat or raise your hand. Other than that, we're just for sake of time going to move forward to they are approved, but please feel free if you dissent. So the next item on the agenda is the agency bed availability. So this is the time that if we have anybody from Safe House, if we have anybody from any THP program, if they've got available beds, or like I saw Martha's Village and Kitchen on, please raise your hand or feel free to put it in the chat. This is a time that we know if there's any availability out there.
For Martha's Village, we do
Yes.
have 3 female beds available and 1 male. And this
Okay.
is in India, California.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody else have any transitional age youth beds available? Okay.
Job Corps, we have 175 vacancies right now, so if they can start their, I know if anybody has any youth in transition for emergency shelter, they can start their application now. We still have those slots available.
Perfect. I just sent somebody your way yesterday, so.
Thank you.
I did think Job Corps, I did not realize how many people were under the impression that you guys were still shut down. So
Yes, we're trying to make sure everybody is aware
Yeah.
that we're open.
So I think we can all try to help share that information. It's not only housing for our youth, it's like career focused services. So great opportunity. Anybody else have any beds available this time? Okay, so we're going to jump on to the next, which is Clarice with the Youth Advisory Board, YAB updates, the important stuff, why we're all here, the youth voice.
Hi everyone. So just my update is that we are going to be reviewing a current RFP on Friday. So we're going to have 3 YAB members review the applications that were received. That is pretty much it. Mar talked about it in her YCP updates, but I just wanted to reiterate again. Mar, do you have anything? Should I say anything else that I missed? If
No,
not, then we can
Thank
move.
you.
Thank you.
Great. So then the next item is, does anybody have anything they can think of right now for agenda items for the next meeting that they would like us to put on our radar or get locked in? Okay. And this
more
is not,
YHSI to come. Sorry.
what's that? Go ahead, Mark.
I was just going to say there's more YHSI updates to come at the next meeting.
Yeah, we're going to focus in on that at the next few meetings. So, but if there is anything anybody else wants, please throw it out there. This isn't just a give it to me now. You can always reach out to us at a later date, and we'll be sure and try to get any public comments or stuff on the meeting. Is there anything for announcements that anybody would like to have? Is there anybody that has something special going on in their organization or anything that they would like to share? Okay, so that is great. Thank you, everybody. Hey, we're still pretty close to being on time, so I very much appreciate your patience, everybody's input. Again, please keep attending because we're going to be like talking about this stuff, our needs and this YHDP stuff moving forward, and we need all the input we can get from all the different eyes and lenses that we have out there. So thank you, everyone, and we will see you. What day is our next meeting, guys? I normally pull that up.
July 30th.
Perfect.
Thursday.
Thank you, Clarice. So keep that on your calendars if you don't have it already. July 30th from 10 till noon. We hope to see you all then. So thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, thanks, everybody.